The hidden occult source of power of the Hulk. I hope you're ready to walk with me and go deep into the unknown. Please remember to subscribe, share and like this video as well. Hulk appeared in American comics published by Marvel Comics. The character was created by writers Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and his first appearance was on The Incredible Hulk #1, published on May 1962. In his comic book's appearance, the character is a huge green humanoid, burly and muscular, who possesses great physical strength. And his alter ego, Dr. Robert Bruce Banner, is a weak, socially retracted, and emotionally reserved person. The two personalities exist as independent beings and resentful of each other. Robert Bruce Banner was a scientist working on gamma radiation for the US Army. Then Bruce realized that a young man named Rick Jones had entered the test field. Banner ran out to save the boy and heroically pushed him into a protective ditch that saved Rick's life. But Bruce was exposed to an extreme amount of gamma radiation that altered the structure of his DNA. When Bruce becomes angry, he becomes a green, sometimes gray creature with incredible powers that increase his physical ability, to which the Hulk was nicknamed. His love interest, Betty Ross, seemed to be the only person who could bring him back to normal. But she was the daughter of General Thunderbolt Ross, who seeks a way to stop the Hulk, hoping to bring him to justice or destroy him completely. Because of that, Bruce always seeks the cure for his transformation and stays calm as long as he can. He is one of the most powerful creatures out there, and the strongest. The Hulk is very different to other heroes. When he gets angry, he becomes stronger than normal. He's green and very muscular, and is able to lift between 70 and 100 tons. Lee said that his creation for the Hulk was inspired by a combination of Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Although the Hulk's coloration has varied throughout the character's publishing story, the most common color is green. But is there a possibility that this race could cause these effects? Well, the answer is no. On the contrary, they can be very harmful. As a child, I watched the series starring Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno and fantasized about being exposed to this race. I even remember being taken for X-rays and listening to a doctor talk about gamma rays. I was excited, and it excited me a lot, but this was really not the case. Gamma rays can cause acute radiation sickness or even death, which is caused when the body is exposed to a high dose of radiation over several minutes. It can cause symptoms of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and your recovery from radiation sickness can take a few weeks or years. The idea of changing our personality, exploring comics, is not new. Many heroes have secret identities, but remains themselves. We already explored the topic in one of my videos when I talk about Shazam and his relationship with evocations and his similarities to magic practices for these purposes. I recommend the video. You can find the link on the description. But could there be a way or something external that can change us? And not only that, but awakens in us some hidden aspect of our being in our subconscious, as it has been explored in other characters such as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and could have some application in the real world, or that perhaps an external alchemical active element reactivates some link of internal or external communication with some beings, or our alter ego, holy guardian angel, inner child, or secret master. Is it possible? Maybe the color green is a clue that could answer these questions. Perhaps in order to find the answers to many questions, we must carefully explore the beliefs and customs of ancient occult groups or ancient civilizations. For that purpose, we'll perform an exercise and explore the background of a symbol that may represent and symbolize more than we see with a naked eye. The acacia is a tree or bush that has a very transcendental symbolism within Freemasonry. It has an important prominence within the ritual, both on the recognition and at their most important moments within their rituals, around an iconic figure. The tree is not only important for Freemasons, but for many years it has been important for ancient civilizations such as Egyptians, Sumerians, and of course the Hebrews. And since it is undeniable that the ritual of Freemasons borrows a lot from the Jewish traditions, as I mentioned in other videos, it's important to analyze this tree within the context of the Hebrew traditions. And what better starting point than the Old Testament, the Torah, or Torah. For the Hebrews, the acacia, or shita, is mentioned in the Old Testament as it was the protagonist in the construction of the most sacred element for them. The wood of the acacia is the one selected by God to build the Ark of the Covenant. It is clear to understand why for the Hebrews acacia was considered sacred, but for the Masonic order it is also sacred according to Oswald Wirth. Knowing the acacia is possessing the initial notion leading to the discovery of the secret of mastery. To assimilate this secret, the initiate must bring the dead wisdom to him. Similarly, well-known writers of Freemasonry such as Albert Gallatin Mackey, Bernard E. Jones, Jules Boucher, Aldo Lavagini, and René Guénon have made known in their books their opinion of the relationship of this tree not only for its characteristics to build, but to provide enlightenment and bring the individual some knowledge that provides a revelation for man. It will be that these plants hide some other properties that we do not know, but that can be explored just by carefully reading the passages of ancient texts and cultures with beliefs closely linked to that source to knowledge and that contact with God. Some believe that the burning bush with which Moses communicated with God was an acacia in the Negev desert, Exodus 3:2. The bark roots and resin Arabic gum were used for incense, and their smoke served to keep demons and ghosts at a distance. And certain varieties of acacia are known to produce Arabic gum. Now the name Sarsa, Sene in Hebrew, origin of the place name Sinai, Robus in Latin of the Vulgata, is a vulgar botanical term that can designate many spiny plants of bushy carven, and has been proposed to be identification with different plants, for example, blackberry Rubus fructiferus, and those of genus of Acacia, Shittim in Hebrew, and contain psychoactive substances such as tryptamine or dimethylamine, better known as DMT. Many researchers, due to the topography of the area, mention that this sarsa to which Moses found himself on fire and has his revelation was a type of acacia, since there are several types growing in Egypt and Palestine, the most common being the Acacia seyal. According to the Hedge Mason block, this tree is still considered sacred in the Middle East, and anyone who breaks a twig is said to be dead within a year. It has even been suggested by the scholar Benny Shannon, professor of psychology at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Israel, whose main focus of research are human consciousness and the philosophy of psychology, is currently working on a book devoted to a general psychological theory of human consciousness, and says that Moses composed a compound similar to ayahuasca, resin of acacia and Syrian roots, which allow him to see the visions of Yahweh in the burning bush. But what is DMT, or compound found in Acacia or ayahuasca? Known as the spiritual molecule or molecule of God, according to some scientists, DMT is secreted by the brain in a near-death experience, and although a very small amount is consumed, produces very intense and elaborate hallucinations. According to Rick Strassman, author of the book DMT, the spirit molecule, during his time at the University of New Mexico, he administered more than 400 doses to 60 volunteers and recorded and studied the effect of the drug. According to the theory, this molecule is segregated by the pineal gland, a small organ located in the center of the brain, and according to the consumers, there's hallucinations of great intensity and elaborations, which includes visions and communications with unknown beings, aliens, other planes or gods, futuristic machinery, and cities or mental expansion. The uses of substances in rituals and ceremonies is nothing new. In the Americas, Greece, and Egypt, they are used to bring the mind to a high and transcendental level of consciousness, as well known to researchers. Geologist Seal Selinga discovered a limestone fracture by two hidden faults across exactly under the ruined Greek temple, creating a path by which chemical fumes rise to the surface to induce visions to the Greek oracle. Dr. Svetla Balanova found traces of nicotine and cocaine on ancient Egyptian mummies. Let's not forget about shamans in native tribes in America. Some authors like Christopher Knight and Robert Lomas say that the ritual for Freemasons that refers to the lost secrets of the Grand Master Builder of Temple Solomon come from the ritual that originates from ancient Egypt and alludes to the lost knowledge of the original rituals performed by the Egyptian king, where they were transformed into deities, where included some uses of substances that altered their mental state so that they could transcend and communicate with the gods in space. Now the focus of this video is to explore a very transcendental symbol and its relationship with the Hebrew tradition when Moses contacts God, and the path that we are currently evaluating, where believing we know about the state of consciousness and substances of natural origin to reach high states of consciousness, either to be adored to help us communicate with the divine beings as something or transform us. Perhaps the result could be unexpected and not written, because what we may find in the other side is something repressed, and we can maybe carry inside that could be liberating or enslave us. I hope you like this video. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Take a look at my channel. If you like topics of magic, hidden history, the occult, and symbolism, watch my other videos. Take care, and 93, my friends.